An Auckland school, which is bursting at the seams, has had to transform its boardroom, staff room, principal's office and now corridors into classrooms to make space for its skyrocketing role. Ormiston Primary School in the city's southeast is only 5 years old and is right in the heart of one of the fastest growth areas in Auckland. In fact, it's growing so fast that by the end of the year they expect to have 1,000 students in a school made for just over 700. Pleas to the Ministry for Education for more classrooms have been largely unsuccessful, and staff say things are getting desperate. Our cameraman Simon Rogers and reporter Nita Blake-Persen filed this report.
Kia ora, welcome to Ormiston Primary School. We're in the main reception, and if you take a few steps that way, we're into our makeshift staff room, and then it's only a few more steps to the back of reception and my new office.
School holidays mean it's pretty quiet at Ormiston Primary today, but usually this space is overloaded with excited kids. Principal Heath McNeil shows us his new office, now in the school corridor.
Usually this is part of reception, and it's usually a place where families who are coming to meet with either me or another member of staff would come in, sort of like a waiting area.
Then there's the squished-in makeshift staff room.
The staff room furniture has come, what we could fit down here has come down here so that we could utilise the staff room as another learning space.
And I presume you don't get 80 people in here wanting to have lunch at one time?
No.
And the office spaces, which are now classrooms.
Meeting rooms, executive offices, and where educators would come if they've got release, and where the other associate leaders of learning would be based.
To call it a squeeze would be an understatement. Kids are spilling over into the nearby junior college to learn.
Currently we've got about 970 learners. We've got space for 720. The stat is about 40% of New Zealand schools are under 100. So with us enrolling 300 new learners every year, it's multiple schools we're enrolling every year.
Hundreds and hundreds of homes have been built in Ormiston in recent years. It's a special housing area, and while the growth isn't a surprise, the rate is.
The Ministry did a study in 2015, the year we opened, and their projections at that stage said that we'd get to about 1,000 students in 2028. So we're 8 years ahead of schedule. Over the last 3 years, each one of those years, 300 new learners every year, year upon year. So we need to make sure that we're catering with new buildings for them.
The school has been sounding alarm bells about the issue for years, but say no one is listening.
But it's extremely long frustration. We've been in contact through our principal to the Ministry of Education since term 3 of 2018. We knew then that we needed to start building a third stage. We knew then that we had a capacity of 720 and we were going to fast get to that point. We're now 2 years down the line. Nothing's been signed off.
Russell Thomas is the chairman of the school's board of trustees. He says they're running out of options.
The ministry has, in the very short term, very recently given us some modulars. They've given us 3 doubles, and they're discussing the possibility of another 2 to come after. But even with that, that only enables us to bring the 200 odd students who were over at the junior college back into the school, and allows us to get the children out of the library into another space.
But next year, with more students pouring in, they'll be back in the same situation.
As a board of trustees, we have to come up with a strategic plan moving forward, and we just can't, because we don't know where we're going to be at. Right now, our strategic plan is bailing water out because we're sinking fast.
The board has contacted the Ministry for Education and the Education Minister, but say they still don't have a solution. In a statement, the Ministry said it was working with the school and was providing modular classrooms to meet immediate need. Today, the National Party offered a lifeline, promising to build more classrooms at Ormiston if elected, as part of a $2.8 billion spend on new classrooms and schools. Principal Heath McNeil says he doesn't care how the classrooms get there or who backs them, just that they get made.
we need new buildings and we need to get them started really soon. We've got some modulars that are coming, which will allow us next year to transition those 200 learners back to our site, but the growth is continuing in our area.
For Checkpoint, Nita Blake-Persen.